Welcome everyone, and this is the fourth session of script writing, which I am conducting. And apart from me, Santosh has also come for this class. And I have told you in the previous class that Santosh is also a sound recordist, a director, and a writer. So first, today's class I will begin with Santosh. Santosh, though we haven't met for a long time, and could you please tell us more about the projects which you have done in the past 15-16 years? I mean, when I went to Mumbai, you were already working there. So I think you were working at that time with some movie of Aamir Khan, and then we lost like the physical touch, but we were in contact through Facebook. So could you please tell us and come and tell us more about your projects?
The last film which I did is a Hindi film called Facebook Wala Pyar.
Okay.
The last film before the lockdown. And in the last 15 years, I did some international film also, like one film for Bangladesh and another film for Afghanistan, and few Persian film in Iran also.
Okay, nice. You are also in TV.
I did like all the formats of television, like KBC. I did Coffee with Karan. I did India's Got Talent. I did Nach Paliya. I did Jhalak Dikhla Ja.
Nice,
so
nice,
all
nice. Very nice. I mean, you have a very long experience, particularly in TV. I think I heard about your movie Facebook Wala Pyar. So is it released or like it has come on some app? Okay.
That is released. You must be that Anand Gandhiwali film, that The Sip of Theseus.
Yeah. I know. Kamal Saruf's daughter worked in that movie actually.
Okay, I did the entire location sound. That is a sing-song film.
Okay,
so I did the entire location for that film.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so today I will begin with today's class. Okay, so after yesterday's class, there were few things which were coming to my mind. Now there are some newcomers in this class, and in the past 3 classes, like first class was with Mr. Amit, and it was a general class. Then in the last 2 classes, around more than 10 students, like 10-12 students have joined. And in the second class, I discussed about that how to develop a story into an idea into a story. So that was the main focus, and there were some questions. Particularly, Ranjit from Assam is present today, and one more guy, I think his surname is Nagar, I'm forgetting his name. He's from Faridabad, Haryana, and Ranjit asked some very good questions. He asked about he asked some questions. I'm forgetting all things, but let us come to the core of what was there in the first class. I would take it in the first class, though it was second class. What was there in the class when I discussed about developing an idea into a story. And then yesterday particularly I discussed about furthermore how to develop a step outline. Now, if you have an idea, write it in 1 or 2 or 3 lines. Then write, I'm talking about movie. If you are writing a movie, then first write 1 or 2 page synopsis. That is a short synopsis. Then you write 5 page, 6 page long synopsis. And then you develop a step outline. Now what is a step outline? Step outline is it is a kind of chunks. You will, for example, that a family moves to a new house. So you will write it like a family of 4 people moves to a new house in Nainital. Okay. Then next, what is the next thing? They meet a neighbor. Which is an old man, old retired person. This is your second. Now, likewise you write. Now, further, so after developing from idea to a 2-page synopsis or a summary, or then to a 5-page summary. When we come to the part of writing, this step outlines, at that time you consider this thing, that the whole step outline, now you will make it into a kind of sequencing. Now sequencing I haven't discussed so far. Now what is a sequence? A sequence is something like it is a kind of small episodes in a movie, all interconnected. Like small episodes, like for example, you take example of Jurassic Park. So the park begins, it's the first sequence, then some kids come to watch the park, second sequence, then there were some other people and some problem were already happening there, and they try to hide this problem, this is another sequence. So they are part of the stories, and within each sequence generally there are 7 to 9 sequences in a 2-hour movie. If it is a 90-hour movie, then 5 or 6 or 7, generally 7 to, so you take this thing. So when your long synopsis is there of 5 pages, and from there when you are coming to the part of writing it, the step outlines, then you think about making it into a sequence. So 7 sequences are there, and apart from that, what I told you is about keeping few things in mind. One, you have to be a rigorous watcher. You have to watch everything. It's not that all things means bad things also, because 2 things will happen when you watch something. First thing, that you like something, second, you don't like something. And when you like something, you will watch more into that genre, into that style of movies. And slowly another thing happens is that you will automatically become selective. I mean, your power of watching beyond the posters or beyond the trailers will grow. I mean, I would say that I can judge a movie with a poster. If you show me a still of a movie, I can judge it is a good or bad. So likewise, your acumen, your mind will also be developed when you watch lot of stuff. And critically you have to watch. Critically, I mean, watch, don't go with like, I watched this movie, it is of that actor or something like that. Though you should also learn that what is good in that movie, what is worth watching in that movie, and why people like such movies which you don't like. So learn those things. But of course, being a script writer, you have to be critical. I mean, last night I was watching a movie. It was a Spanish movie, and I was watching with my wife, and though she wasn't that kind of thing, but I discussed with her. So when you watch a movie, if you are watching with your family members, with your friends, as a script writer, make it a habit to go into that whether this story has worked, where the story has become loosened, what were the faults of the story, how it could be improved. So if you think in that way, then your work will definitely improve. Yesterday, and apart from that, what we also discussed, that there is one thing. I mean, there was this guy, and he introduced a hero's journey concept. I think his name was Russell. I'm forgetting the full name. So he introduced a concept of hero's journey. He was I think anthropologist, and he did research on the myths, on the literature which was there all over the world, and he came out with a kind of theory kind of thing, that in all the literature, in all the folk tales, we find a kind of structure which is a 3-act structure, and basically which is a hero's journey. Now what is a hero's journey? I told you, simply it's like a person having a problem. A problem is very big, and he or she tries to solve that problem, and we call it a 3-act structure. The first is the introduction. It is the area of 30 minutes where the problem comes, where we introduce our characters in the first 15 minutes, 10 minutes, we introduce all our characters. It's very bad to introduce a character in the middle of the movie, and if you introduce someone in the end, it's a big blunder. But when we are writing for TV, when you are writing long episodes but there also you have to keep in mind the example which I gave you of Viking, that the character which comes later on has some sense, has some meaning, and has something which is already connected to the previous parts. As in the Vikings, suddenly the main character, very strong character of Ragnarok, dies, I think after 3rd season, but his sons takes on the scene and they become the next protagonist or antagonist. So this Mr. Shailendra has also come. Okay, I think just hold on. So this thing you should keep in mind. Okay, so this 3-act structure is, now the first act is about introduction of your characters and about your problem, introduction of the problem. The second act is a kind of thing where the protagonist, now who is the protagonist? Protagonist is the main hero or the main person through which we are telling the story, the main character. It could be a main character, could be a person, it could be animal, it could be a robot, it could be whatever. It could be a group of people, a group of army men. So they all could be protagonists. So the protagonist in the second act, what they do? First they try to avoid the situation and then they try to fight with it. They fight, it seems that situation is gone, and then again after some time, then when they start living their normal life, the situation again comes back, and then it becomes very difficult for them to get away from it. The only option left is fight or flight. Either you fight with it or you run away from it. But if a person flights, that is the end of the story. So we make him to fight. Now he fights, and for fighting he prepares something, and his preparation, because of his preparation, and it's a long journey. I mean, this preparation shouldn't be very easy. It should be long in terms of it's not that you write only one scene or two scene. It should be a long preparation, and then ordeal. I think I am forgetting the word. The meaning is to struggle. This fight should be longer, and then in the ending we will show that the person wins and the changes that occurs. Now there were few other things apart from this which I was also thinking, but before that I will discuss 2-3 more aspects. First I will take on what Santosh told us yesterday, which I want to stress on this, and then I will come to Santosh if he wants to talk about that thing. Santosh talked about a very interesting thing. The very interesting thing is about the need, the internal need of the character. And not only if you go to the literary books, they talk about the internal need of the character. Okay, I will talk about this, but first one more thing. I mean, before this I would like to tell you one more thing. It is about the hook. Hook is the problem. The problem which brings the protagonist into the middle of the journey, from the problem due to which he has to fight or he has to deal with it. So this is called hook in the story. It is a turning point of the story. The story turns from this point. You go to cinema hall, you sit there, and something is happening, characters are coming, and 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes passes, and you start feeling bored. This feeling should come. When you are writing, you should be also aware that where I should make the audience bored, or where I should make them to stay away from the screen. And this feeling of boredom, or this feeling of keeping them away from the screen, is actually a kind of memory lapse of their short-term memory. So they forget what's happening there. They become bored, and suddenly you bring the problem into the story. The problem comes. They are not aware of the problem, or even if they are aware, they don't know what to do. So then the audience's attention will again come back into the story, and this is also a kind of refreshment. I mean, when we watch something, when we listen something, nowadays if you see that our viewing span has become so less. In India, the movies used to be 3 hours long, then it became like 2 hour 40 minutes, 2 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours. Now it is even less than 2 hours. Why? Because one thing, our span has become span of attention. Our attention has become very less, and we have been exposed to so much watching that we watch very quickly, and we don't need same thing to be explained in a longer pattern. I watch movies with full speed. I mean, with maybe 1.5 speed, and if I am watching on YouTube like general program, I watch on a double speed. But that's me. It's different thing because I am into this habit. So this thing, hook or the problem, it is a turning point. It will change the whole story. It will change the life of the main character, or maybe lives of many characters. And from this turning point, from this hook, we will move forward into the story. And now I will come to the internal need of the character, and which is so much taught and emphasized, and which is also not that all scripts are having. They put, I mean, this need not to be shown. I will tell you, this need not to be shown externally. It is internal need. As I said, it is the internal need. The internal need shouldn't be obvious, it should be hidden. It should be somewhere in the unconscious or subconscious of the character, the main character. But I have also seen that it's not just the internal need of one character. I think we all have some internal needs, and it's my own experience that if we stress on the internal needs of all the characters, all the main characters, then it becomes much interesting and reflected in the story. Now I will come to Santosh, and Santosh, would you like to tell us more about this concept of internal need of the character which you told us yesterday?
It's a
Carry on.
Internal need of a character, basically how he is going to solve the problem. So how he weaponize himself.
How he
weaponize himself.
Okay, how he prepares.
Prepares to solving the problem, and during the preparation. So how he is think for the options, how he react with the other characters. So it's a kind of a pattern that also depend upon the internal need. Sometime, if he is lost a small battle,
Okay.
so he needs some kind of a consolation. So naturally, we introduce a heroine. So hero go to the heroine, and heroine console him.
Okay.
So that kind of a thing.
Okay, I was thinking about this internal need. Thank you, Santosh. So Santosh means to say that I think, Santosh, please correct me and please add on what I am saying. I think all of us have understood it in this way. You mean to say that need is something that how a person prepares. I mean, the way of his attitude. I mean, how he prepares himself. That need reflects that. That will reflect needs, or it is the part of the need.
Let take an example, Nikhil. Suppose a person takes a patient into the hospital.
Okay.
Correct. And his need is the oxygen cylinder. So his not need. It's a problem.
Okay.
He wants an oxygen cylinder for his patient. Correct. He is searching. Suppose he saw a cycle pump. And he tried to give the air in front of the nose with the cycle pump. Right? And this it's a need. The oxygen is a need. So for that need, he used a cycle pump. Suppose if his patient, if cured, then it is a turning point for the entire story.
Okay.
Maybe.
But
So
what
that
about
particular
But what about his internal need? I mean, need which is in his subconscious mind.
the internal need, the relationship between the patient and that character. So how that is important for that character, and that internal need, it's a create a degree of a trust to solving a problem, to acquiring.
You mean to say that this internal need will come from the relationship between these two characters.
Definitely.
Very good point you have picked actually. I will come on this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suppose, that patient is a father of this boy.
Okay.
So the need, the internal need is something else.
Okay.
Suppose he is a uncle or he is a Poopaji of that character. So maybe the degree of a need to solve the problem, the degree of concentration towards the solving a problem is changes.
Okay. So you mean to say when we are writing, let's come to the writing part. So when we are writing, we show this internal need which is already there, which is hidden through the relationships, through the preparation.
Maybe it's come with the actions between or relation between the two characters.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
How?
See, I will add one example of what Santosh is saying. If anyone have you seen the movie Forrest Gump? Now, if you look at the Forrest Gump is a movie where this is played by Tom Hanks, and it's a very old movie. Please go and watch Forrest Gump if you have not, because I will come to this movie again. Why this idea came to my mind. Now, Forrest is a kind of mentally weak, and physically weak, and his relationship is with his childhood friend, and whatever he achieves, he wants that to show the childhood friend. And throughout the movie, we keep watching what's happened when he is separated from his childhood friend, which is also his love. We are watching what's happening to Forrest throughout his life. He's going to army, he's going to fishing, he becomes a very big businessman, and he spends time at the hospital. We are also watching what's happening to his friend in her world, that she become drug addict and she joins some hippies or so and so. And then, but now why it is important that the need of the Forrest was somewhere to get his friend, to get the confidence into his friend, and that need is reflected. When he achieves something, he goes back to that friend, and whatever happens next is the one thing. Yeah, you are right, and this is what internal need. One more example, thank you Santosh, and one more example I would like to give. It's from the very popular epic Ramayana. I mean, I was thinking about Ramayana, I would take it as an epic, and it's a literary work. And why it has been refined? Because it has been written by so many writers, and it has so many versions, and the most popular version which we know about the story of Ram. Now I was thinking about this thing, that why Ram decided, I mean, you take it Ram, why he was a king. I mean, he had to be supposed to be a king. And then when Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, so why he decided to go and fight with such a big king, like Ravana was a big king at that time. Now, if Ram hadn't been Ram, in the sense that if he hadn't been a son of another big king, Dashrath, and what happened to Ram? Ram was the legitimate heir of the throne. Somehow he had to left his home, but he was a king. And when we talk about Ram, and the main thing which the epic, the teachers, the scholars tell us about the Ram is the gist of the Ramayana is that we want to create Maryada Purushottam Ram. So this also means they say their hero is someone who obeys the system and who goes with the system. Now this is what Ram did, and this was actually his internal need. When Ravan took the Sita, if he had been a normal person, he would have said that, what could I do? I can't go and fight with such a big king. Now what he did, he decided to carry on, to take on this big king in front of whom he was very small. And it was his preparation. He met Jatayu, he met Hanuman, Sugriv, and all these things were his preparations to fight. But what was his internal need? His internal need was that he was a legitimate heir of a throne, and this is what he wants to prove. He wants to prove that he was the right owner. He couldn't get the throne, but he was the legitimate and right person. That's why he fought with, I am telling you this in terms of literary, not in terms of religious, but in terms of literary sense, as we are talking about the hero's journey, and it's also into the other structures, also into the other stories also. Now come to one more thing, important thing, that most of the stories, they have a guru, teacher for our protagonist. In Ramayana we see Vishwamitra and Vasishtha are there. Even if you look at the real life, I am your guru. Santosh has told me something. He is my guru and your guru. I had my teachers, and sometimes our parents are our teachers. So who is a guru? Who would give us power to fight? Who would guide us? We all need a guide to guide us into the unknown territory we are going to enter. Now this unknown territory, now this, you note it, unknown territory, and this deals with two aspects. One is a psychological fear, another is the fear of human beings going outside their territories, going outside into the world. Sometimes this outside world is not physically outside our cities, but maybe something which is inside our city. We have not seen something. Suppose a sewage system which is underground, which is below the city. Suppose there is something hidden in the city, some hidden palace in the city, unknown, unseen, or something which we fear of. I don't want to go to jail, but if you go to jail, maybe the situation is very bad. It is an unseen. So when you are creating a problem, when you are giving a problem into your story, then also think about two things. One, who would be the guru, how he would be the guru, and what would be the role of the guru. About the role of the guru, the role of the teacher, the guidance, the guide of the main character, keep in mind that don't give so much power to the guide. Remember, a guide is a guide. You have to go and you have to give your exam. Yesterday the movie I watched, it was all messed up. I mean, it was a very good movie. I won't say it was a bad movie, good movie, and very few movies could sustain it was a horror movie. Very few movies could sustain the kind of fear, feeling of fear that this movie, the Voices was the name of the movie. The Voices, you can go and watch it on Netflix. Particularly at 1 hour, at 60 minutes, the situation of fight and flight came, and it was actual length of the movie was 1 hour 34 minutes, excluding the titles and the initial titles, end titles and credits and initial titles. So if you exclude them, the length of the movie was 1 hour 30 minutes, which was actually 90 minutes movie. And at the 60th minute, so out of 90, it was like I think 75%. At the 75% of the time, the situation came, and he had particularly that 30 minutes in the ending where this person should fight and flight, and this is where, and this is what I told you, and this is our third part, third act, the 3-act structure. The first act, beginning, characters and problem. The second act, face to face with the situation becomes worse, and the third act is the fight. So when this third act begins, when the fight begins, keep Guru away from the character, or just his memories are there. Don't bring his mentor, his teacher, his guide into this third act. Now the problem with this movie was that the Guru, the teacher, the guide came into the third part, and rather than the main character doing something, he does all the things. Now this is like two stories. So he mixed up two stories. The story was that one person with his family, they come to a new house, and he has invested huge money in that new house. First, his son dies, and he finds that there is something strange in the house, and already there was some things which I also told you, that the person or the thing or the situation which is helping you in the end should be come in the beginning. So in this movie also there was this researcher, paranormal researcher, and we see him in the beginning of the movie, and this guy goes to him to take the help. He calls him to his home. He comes with his daughter, and they start researching, and they start finding that yes, something strange is happening in this house. And then he loses the man who called this researcher. His wife also dies. She commits suicide. Now he has lost his son. He has lost his wife, and the situation now up to him is that whether he should leave this house or whether he should fight. He should know that what's the problem, why they are killed. This was the 60th minute of the movie. But what happened after this was, something which I am telling you. This researcher takes on the command of the story. He becomes a protagonist rather than becoming a guru. So this writer should have kept him. You are working on a series. Okay. So any of your series have come so far?
Not yet, sir, but it's almost lined up.
Okay. And you have made documentary films?
Yes, sir. I'm writing and
okay.
I'm working on some scripts also.
Okay. So we also have Karuna with us. Karuna, could you share yourself? Could you introduce yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You were there yesterday also?
No, this is my first class.
Okay. Where are you from?
Ludhiana, Punjab.
Okay. And what are you doing?
I'm doing BSc Medical.
MBBS Medical? BMM?
BSc Medical.
BSB, what's that?
Bachelor of Science.
Okay. Okay. BSc. Okay. See, this is the third session. I recorded the last session and I have given a video of that session on YouTube. And you know my number. You can send me a WhatsApp on 852-7533-051. So 852-7533-051, and you can search my name Nikhil Sablania. You will also get this number easily on Google. So you send me WhatsApp. I will send you links of the yesterday's class and today's class, Actually, we got disconnected. I took a class of around 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and there is also Mr. Santosh Kumar with us. He is also a writer and director and also a sound recordist. So we have so far discussed about the idea, how to develop the idea, what should be the idea, how to develop that into a story, and so you just go to the class. If you go to the classes on YouTube, then you will learn about our previous classes. So one, I think, question, sir, please create a WhatsApp group also. Yeah, I will create a WhatsApp group. I have already created a broadcast list, so which is already there, and more than 150 people are already there. In fact, today's link I sent to many of the people who are into the films. So I hope slowly more people from the film community will also join this. Now come to the today's class, which actually, so there were few more people were there. So Karuna, we were discussing that when there is a story, there is a hero or the main protagonist. Protagonist is the person. It could be a person, it could be animal, it could be a robot, it could be a group of community or a group of kids. So what if they want to do something? I mean, in the movies we see that there is some problem, there is some issue, and that issue and that problem has to be resolved. And when that group of person or a person, the protagonist solves this, he or she or they need some insight into this. As I have given very famous example of Ramayana, where Vishwamitra and Vasishtha give guidance to Ram, and that guidance become his tool in fighting with Ravana. So this was a simple thing I told, and we were discussing a movie which I saw last night. The name of the movie is Voices. Now what happened in this movie? So in a movie, for a protagonist, it's better that there should be a teacher, a guru, which we show him. But that guru shouldn't take the command of the film, shouldn't take the command of the actor. It should be like a book, like a guide or like a teacher. We read a guide, we go to school, we learn from the school, but when we give exam, it's we who has to perform. Our teacher doesn't come. Likewise, in a script, in a film script, the protagonist get this learning, and when he or she goes to the final battle. Now what is this battle? This battle doesn't mean that he should go with guns or he will go with the sword. This battle is how he deals with the problem. It could be his family problem, it could be his problem at office related to career, it could be a problem with the nation, it could be a problem to save from some alien attack. The problem could be any problem, but when he or she solves that problem, we need not to have a guru taking command of that problem. Santosh, you wanted to say something?
I think you are made every point very clearly.
Okay. And I told about the 3-act structure, and that in a movie there are 3 acts. The first act is the entry and the problem entry of the character, the problem. Second is that this problem becomes either it goes or then again it comes back, and the third is about fighting with this problem. You can go to the, particularly I think other people are aware of what I have said, so Karuna, you can go to the videos and you can watch that. Now come to the one thing, and which I want to share. Actually yesterday we were talking about the 3-act structure, but I think that there are some movies which don't have this 3-act structure. And one example, as I said about Forrest Gump and biographies. If you see a biographicals, I mean, there are some biographicals where it's not about that 3-act structure. And I think Tom Hanks has worked in more than one movies. He has worked in that Castaway, which I won't say that it has a kind of the 3-act structure. And if you look at the Terminus, it also doesn't. And these movies are very beautiful, and they are made up of small chunks and small episodes. But there is certainly one thing, that we move with the character, we move his emotions, we move with his, as we discussed today also, internal needs. So we move with them, but they don't have that kind of 3-act structures. So this we will take about this, that getting away from the 3-act structure, and I will come maybe tomorrow, hopefully, maybe on Zoom, or I will search for some other thing, because this thing I didn't like. They cut our class, like, because in the last 3 classes they have upgraded us, but this time the 4th class they have stopped. So this I will check, and tomorrow we will meet. And thank you, Santosh, for coming. And Bhuvin, I will make a group, and I will keep this thing. Groups, I am maintaining many groups. Group is very difficult to create. I mean, difficult to manage, because when we get other newcomers into the group, it's not easy. So I will send you the link of the tomorrow's class through phone. And Karuna, if you have not, you can go and take the screenshot of the chat where I am writing my WhatsApp number. So you can take the screenshot. The number is 852-7533-051. So I will just type it. So this is the WhatsApp number, 852-7533-051. Take the screenshot, and we will.
I'm already there in your WhatsApp.
Okay. So we will meet again tomorrow at 10 Indian Standard Time, 10 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.
Nikhil,
Yeah. Yes,
Nikhil,
Santosh.
Nikhil.
Yes.
There is another. There is a thing called 5-act structure.
Yeah, I
All
heard. Japanese movies, Kurosawa's
all
movies.
those-
Yeah.
It's a new concept. All the creative producers which are sitting in studios,
Okay.
big studios,
Okay.
they talking about some 5-act structure.
No, I have already read about it when we were in film school, like in 2004, 2005. It's not new, I think. It's not new. It was already there.
You can elaborate something tomorrow.
I will go through it. I had been go through it, but I didn't find it interesting. I mean, and it depends upon whether it will work or not work. But one thing I would like to add, that movies we should keep. Now we learn about movies, we should learn. There are 2 types of people, movie and moviegoers, and there are also a lot of people who like watching web series. So I think web series are more important now rather than movies, because one commercial aspect for a writer, I mean, for the people who are working into the films is, and for the people like who are creating apps, there is one advantage which web series have for us also, and for the OTT platform owners also. A person can't go to cinema hall to watch a web series. That web series, he or she has to watch at home. I mean, you can't watch 8 hours or 10 hours content at cinema. But if you watch them 30 minutes, 40 minutes, very interesting web series, then you have the platform. You don't have to fight with that kind of superficiality created by the cinema, like big people. Like the movie is bad, and they create so much superficiality, and they also create so much advertisement. But if the content is good, it speaks on the OTT platform. So, but I will go through that. I will also go through that, and I will. One question has come, I think. Bhuvan has. How do I know when my script is ready? Okay, when you write the end, your script is ready. This is the simple answer. And when you think that it was a 2-hour movie, and I have written 120 pages of A4 size in a final draft structure, 120 pages for 120 minutes movie. If it is a 119 pages movie, it means 119 pages. Though many people say that if you are writing a horror movie, and if you are writing an action movie, then the action enlarges the time when you go for actual shoot. But with my personal experience, it's not that. So if you are writing something on a 1 page, on a 1 minute, it will remain there for 1 minute or maximum 2 minutes on the screen. But 120 minutes for a 2-hour movie, that is the end. The final ending is that, and also ending is also which should give audience something. I mean, it's very popular saying that when we watch the movie, we have something to carry with us at our homes. So likewise, when we are watching at our home, we have something to carry with us to tell our friends. Like I saw this Mary Magdalene few days back with my wife, and she saw first time a movie based on Christianity, and it's the life of Mary Magdalene, who was a lover of like a Mirabai to Jesus Christ, lover also and a devotee also, and she was. It's another history. So my wife saw that movie and then she told to her friends, because the movie was made such a beauty. It was such a beautiful movie. The clothes, the mountains, the Israel they have shown of that time. It looks so beautiful. It's a very new thing for her. Maybe not for the Western audience, but for her. So for whom we are make it a beautiful, and in the ending give something which they carry. In the ending, what they gave an very interesting ending, and which I was also expecting, that why they are making movie, because actually if you want to spread your religion and you want to spread your political ideas, you spread it with women, like our governments did with this BJP. When came, they wanted women, at least they could get the women Muslim voters. So they introduced this law of, the whole story. So likewise, women are used to propagate the religious concepts. And here, this Mary Magdalene, the Mary takes away the religious zest from Jesus. A woman takes, and what they showed in the end of the movie, that up to 2016, from 590 AD to 2060. Because in 519 or 590 AD, some pope said that Mary was a prostitute. For almost 1500 years, Mary was considered as prostitute and was not given anything in the texts. So in the 2016, finally, the Vatican's took her as the first messenger of the Jesus Christ and the first witness of the resurrection of Jesus. And then in the end, we see Mary taking on the command of religion and going into the world, spreading the word of Jesus Christ. So this ending they give, and my wife liked it. I didn't like it, but I know what they are trying to say. But okay, that's okay. When I still remember many years back when I watched the Jesus Christ movie, I wanted to go to Parmeshwar. The movie was so beautiful. So okay, you make such movie which should be beautiful, which gives, as I said yesterday also, which gives something, to giving an emotional feeling, to give a religious feeling, to give us a feeling of braveryness, all those feelings, the good character you give to your audience in the end of the story, a good morality, remember, or folk tales. Particularly nowadays I am watching Devdutt Pattanaik, and few months back I asked him, I wrote a comment that please go into the Buddhist literature. I have also read Buddhist literature. I don't have so much time to go and read the Jatak. So he is reading nowadays Jatak and he is giving lectures on Jataks. He has written some. So he also tells this thing that the old stories are all about morality. We also from the school days, we start teaching, we start reading the books of or stories of morality. So you give something morality, you give some humor. You go and watch Austin's Power, you get so much humor, it excites you. So this is the good ending of your story, what you give to your audience in the end. So I hope I am clear. So tomorrow I will try to catch with all of you. Thank you very much for coming. Have a nice day. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.